Fourth Downs with Rich.
Here we go.
First down.
All right, I'm hopped up on caffeine. My favorite football team season is completely over 8 quarters into the season, so this is going to be lit. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so first down here. The National Football League, as we have seen through the first 2 weeks of the season, has been a flag fest, a flag-o-rama. There have been an absurd number of offensive holding penalties through the first couple of weeks of the season. As a matter of fact, a record number of offensive holding penalties was called in week number 2 of the season, and I would like them to just stop throwing flags. I totally understand that the emphasis has been put on this. A 66% increase from the same time period last season, the 2-week total for offensive holding calls. 178 of them. There were 96 flags for offensive holding in week 2, not just on Garrett Bowles alone. I'm talking about the entire league. The most in a single week since at least the start of the 2012 season. When you hear stats since at least the start, it's tough to count that far back. So Mike Zimmer, who's on the coaches subcommittee that recommended this point of emphasis on what's being called lobster block. It's a technique that the NFL is telling offensive linemen when they wrap their arms around defenders on the backside of runs that's been illegal and that's not going to be now going to be illegal, and the players are having a very difficult time adjusting to it. Mike Zimmer was asked by Kevin Seifert of ESPN.com. I hope it gets corrected. That's what I hope. Not the flags, the technique. Quote, I hope teams stop doing it, but if they don't, they should throw the flag. It's cheating. And I will say the response to that, I understand you're a coach, and I understand what is by the rule of law is or isn't. It's brutal to watch. Again, I'm spitting truth. I don't want to see Sean Hockley 90 times a game. I just don't. And I don't want to be sitting there holding my breath after a big play and that something was happening on the back end of the play that seems to me as a fan has nothing to do with it, and it gets wiped out. And the number of times the poor Jets last night, I think they set a record for the number of 2nd and 23 snaps inside their own 5-yard line they had last night. Because of all the holding, one after another. There's got to be a gray area. Sometimes point of emphasis stuff gets loosened by the middle of a season. It's got to happen. That's my first down. Second down here on the Rich Eisen Show. Now, you're hearing all about the Jaguars should go get Eli Manning, right? Nick Foles is going to come back middle of the season. Here's what I say to all this. I am all in on Gardner Minshew. I am all in on this kid. If I'm the Jaguars, I am excited to see what I've got in this 6th-round selection, because this kid can wing it around in this day and age of more and more wide-open offenses, right? Like the one Mike Leach was running is making it into the NFL.
Absolutely.
And I just love the whole Gardner Minshew Minshewiness. I love the photograph that made the rounds this week. Everybody thought it was him coming off the plane in Houston. It was apparently earlier this year. He looks like he's the quarterback, as I've mentioned, the Jacksonville Jaguars. He stretches in his jock strap in the locker room. He beats to his own drum. I mean, this just reeks of like Ken Stabler type stuff.
Dude, he's got a great
Back
vibe.
in the day, is a great vibe. The Jaguars need a great vibe, clearly. Don't touch it. Just keep it going. And maybe when Nick Foles comes back, I'm sorry, let's see what he could put together. I am all in on this kid. And I can't wait to see it all play out. That's my second down. Here's third down. Okay.
Third down.
Here we go.
Are we heating up? We're starting to get a little hot.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's third down on the Rich Eisen Show, okay? I like the idea for the New York Jets to do the following.
Okay.
I understand.
Can I write this down?
No, it's okay. I understand it makes no sense, and I understand. No, I understand. And I understand when Darnold comes back, he's got to play games. I get it.
Yes.
But here's what the Jets should do. They should tank also. Season's over. They should tank and tank to the Dolphins and let the Dolphins win it all when they play them, and get that first overall selection and sit there and say, hey, Dolphins, I don't care how many first-round picks you've got to trade up. Who else wants Tua? Bring it on. And send Tua somewhere else and mess with the Dolphins' tank job, get their own picks, and go ahead and win with Sam Darnold next year. The Jets should tank just to mess with their rivals, the Dolphins. That's the way to do it. Who else wants the first overall pick? We're not sending it to you, Miami. Because you're not first overall. We are. We tanked worse than you. Wouldn't that be
Season is not over.
a total blast? Fourth down.
Fourth down.
All right. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get much hotter than that here on fourth down with the hot take play.
No, I'm going to give you a playoff team.
Okay.
Who is my sleeper team in the NFC going in?
Sleeper team in the NFC coming into this year.
Who did I mention? The San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
They are 2-0 for the first time, having won both of their road games. Never done it before. Now James G takes on Mason Rudolph in his first game as a starter on the road. That smells of 3-0.
Sure does.
You got a bye week? Then they're going to stick it to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's a 4-0 start.
That's Monday Night Football, right?
Yes, it will be. And I say that the San Francisco 49ers win at least 10 games, and they're one of your wild card teams in the National Football Conference this year. They are going to win in places like Washington.
It could be 7-1 the first half of the year.
Carolina might have Kyle Allen coming into their house in Week 8. That's my fourth down hot take. Maybe I should have reversed third.
I was
going to
say I kind of like that take. The Jets one's pretty hot. Tank the whole year.
Tank the whole year. It's over. Why bring Sam back and put his spleen at risk?
So have Sam sit the whole season?
No, I'm not thinking this all the way through.
Okay, all right.
But all I'm saying is that the one way to mess with the Dolphins is to tank worse than them and basically say, we don't need a quarterback. Who wants Tua? And send him elsewhere and let them tank for nothing. Tanks for nothing.
Nice Caddyshack reference.
Or or go get Justin Herbert up in Oregon. Because you ain't getting Tua with all your tanking. Uh-huh.
Gay said Darnold was at the facility today.
Okay. I'm not saying my idea makes sense, but it just, this whole Miami thing just rubs me the wrong way.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.